everyone, we're here in Yan'an, Shaanxi Province. 90 years ago, American journalist Edgar Snow entered the cave dwellings in Northern Shaanxi, held in-depth conversation with Mao Zedong and other leaders of the Communist Party of China, conducted interviews across the revolutionary base, and wrote the book, Red Star Over China. For the first time, he told the world the true story of Red China, sparking global attention to the CPC and the Chinese Revolution. Today, more American friends have came to Yan'an, and they are from Kansas City, Missouri, Edgar Snow's hometown, and they dedicated themselves to preserving and passing on his spirit. Hello, everyone. It's really nice to meet you all. Both of you are guardians of Edgar Snow's spirit. Now you stand on the land he visited 90 years ago. What strikes you the most right now?
It's such an historic place and a special place. It feels very, very moving to be here. It's just really lovely.
And it's just been a wonderful experience. It's pretty amazing to see what the people from two countries can do together, aside from politics, when they just get down to being people to people. This exemplifies that whole idea.
This year is the 90th anniversary of Edgar Snow's first visit to Yan'an. So that's why we are here again, at Red Star Garden. So through the bridge built by Edgar Snow, and so many people know each other.
That's right.
I believe
90 years later.
I believe Edgar Snow would be pleased that people from Kansas City and people from Yan'an in Shaanxi Province are still today gathering and discussing not only him and his writing, but also the important work that he wrote about understanding and collaboration and communication between us.
Your foundation has studied and promoted Snow's legacy for years. So based on your research, what would you describe him as a person?
I would say he was a very humble, modest, but extremely gifted journalist. He had an energetic, outgoing spirit where he wanted to see the world. So yeah, I think that's what stands out to me about Edgar Snow is his willingness to seek out, go through very difficult things, like coming out here through live lines of battle, to take that on, and then when he gets to Yan'an, to have no qualms whatsoever about spending hours and hours and hours interviewing each of these leaders and humble people and children and every which way. He just wanted to know the whole story. I think that's the important thing about him. Yeah.
At the university in Kansas City, we are the Edgar Snow Archives, and there are many of Edgar Snow's personal papers, also many hundreds of photographs that he took while he was in China. And there are photos, I guess he didn't take them if he's in them, but there are photos. No selfie back then. But there are photos of him with children and the other leaders. But there are photos of him just with ordinary people, as you would see the ordinary people in Shaanxi Province today. And you can see he wanted to meet a large cross-section of people and to interact with them.
And also to stay here for 4.5 months, right? A lot of journalists, it's going to be a day, a weekend maximum. He was in rough quarters and circumstances, you know? So I just think it's marvelous. And I would love to see more of that kind of immersive journalism going on today.
But then to sit here and be with these guys and then produce that work that he did, and that changed the whole perspective for the whole world. That was something very brave to just even attempt to do, much less make it such a success. The bravery shows through to me.
Okay, so for me, I would say I would take the Edgar Snow as my role model because, you know, we are like the same career. We're also both are the journalists. So 90 years have passed, yet we still honored Mr. Snow family. So why do you think people still remember him after all these decades?
You know, he came to China, he was in China, and then this is happening. But he also took advantage of the opportunity. He was not the only foreign journalist in China.
But he's the first man that really let the the foreign world to know what the China, what the real China is.
He was the first to take that opportunity to come and to make it. And then once people saw that he was able to do that, then you saw that other people, follow, just as we're now following in his footsteps 90 years later. But I think that sort of courage, that bravery, that thirst for knowledge, thirst for the truth, that when I think of him as a journalist, I mean, it's the perfect qualities for a journalist.
Through reading the works of Edgar Snow, through the friendship with other people, we found that ordinary people just the same. With the people are people everywhere.
Yes.
People need to communicate with each other. We need more people come to China. We also need more Chinese go to the States, right?
Yes,
to exchange, to communicate with each other, and then know more and deeper about each other.
Okay, so we all know Snow built a bridge for the world to know the real China. As China and US enter a new chapter in their relations, what practical meaning does carrying on Snow's spirit hold?
I think we all know that there are some tensions between the US and China. But so I actually think our work is extra important right now. And it's such a privilege, even to be able to go back to the US and talk to people that will never travel to China. But because they're my friends, they'll listen to me and talk to me. And just a little bit, they understand more. And I hope that also happens with the people we know here in China that we don't interact with, but maybe they're friends of our friends here, that they also can learn just a little bit more that way.
Yeah, I think I would just agree with that completely, and also add that the whole purpose of the Edgar Snow Foundation from its founding, and so always very consciously, the mission was to keep the people-to-people connection strong and growing, understanding that two countries have their own interests and they're not always going to be in the same place. Keeping the people strong, because the people are what are going to save it. So yeah, that's been a very deliberate mission of ours, and we think it's good work.
So 90 years later, the world still pay close attention to China, but misunderstanding still exists. Thanks to social media, everyone can share stories and become a modern-day Edgar Snow. So what expectations do you hold for these new era's storytellers?
Some people tell stories on social media and they just want to get attention. But I do hope that there are a series of people, a group of people that think what's important is finding out the truth. What's important is finding out what's important. What's important is sharing that in a way that allows others to understand, like develop true understanding.
I hope that just adds to the number of platforms that can be out there, but to see Chinese people and American people just being normal people, and doing it together. I think that could be wonderfully helpful.
Thank you so much for accepting our interview. So, shall we take a photo here?
Sure.
Okay.